who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again.
You ain't see me activated. You better hope that you never see me agitated. I think about my actions, plan them out, evaluated. That's how I end up on the top, man, I'm calculated. My mind's a weapon, my body is the engine. I'm never second guessing, I just do what I was destined. Cause I feel I got the blessing, persistence and obsession. That's how you keep progressing, I already learned that lesson, yeah.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life.
Someone recently told me that there are no right or wrong choices, there are decisions, and that each one will have an outcome, and as long as it was informed, only in retrospect will you feel it was right or wrong. No matter how hard we try, we cannot escape our own mind, but when we physically take ourselves out of a situation or environment, it gives us a reset and we are left with a fresh perspective. Often we are too consumed and too involved in our daily routines, so they become autonomous. When this happens, it becomes hard to identify what is causing that unhappiness or anxiety. I started to spiral down a hole that I didn't like the feel of, nor did I like where my mind was going. So I took the time to find the beauty in life again. I took myself out of my day-to-day environment and spent some time exploring life. Sometimes it takes a life-changing event to make you realize what you want in life. I recently stepped back and took a trip with the goal to find happiness and fall in love with life again. I hoped that by doing that I would gain clarity on some things. I wanted to find the root of what was really making me that unhappy. I've played sports on a competitive team for as long as I can remember. When I was really young, I wanted to play professionally. I didn't really know what that was going to be, what sport, because I was playing 10, 11 sports at the time. It was kind of lacrosse and netball in sixth form, my last 2 years of high school. And then I got a scholarship to come and play Division II lacrosse in America. I've always dreamt of coming to school, to college, to play lacrosse in America, and I think it was like a goal that I had finally achieved that I didn't necessarily know if it was possible or not. So I think that's where it becomes confusing to me, because I know I love playing sport, I love being an athlete, I love everything that comes with it. I love the training. I'm not afraid to work my arse off to get to where I want to be. I'm at the point where I'm ready to let go of that part of me. And it might seem to some people that this is like dramatic and this is like over the top, it's just a sport, but to be honest, it isn't just a sport, and it's a huge part of my identity and who I am. It has been a consistent part of my life for years and years and years, and the past year and a bit has been incredibly challenging for me. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is I'm proud of myself for realizing that I needed to take a step back from lacrosse. In reality, nobody knows what anyone else is going through. I am ready to find out who I am without that part of myself. There was a photo taken of me during my last game at Lynn, and I went and got a line drawing and I got it tattooed onto me. I think that is the last college game of lacrosse I'm going to play. Sometimes in life we have to let go of things that at the time feel like they're everything. It took me taking a step back and some very emotional conversations to realize that what I was currently putting all of my time and effort into wasn't truly making me happy. The truth is, focusing and dedicating every day to something you don't love will ultimately always lead you to unhappiness. Life should excite you, and that is why I'm making these decisions. I want to wake up every morning and be excited by what I choose to do with my time.
It's not going to break down. Just
Keep slowing and my foot is on the floor.
I know, it's okay. Go over this one. Go over it. Go over it. Oh. Which way we go?
That's an angry thing. That's why I wanted to do those things. We made it halfway through our trail.
There will never be a perfect time for something. It is powerful to leave behind what no longer makes you happy. Don't wait for the thing that is causing you stress to be over before you let it go. Take action and start living a life that you love and are excited to live. It really is that simple. Often we are led to believe that if we walk away from something, we have failed. In truth, I view it differently. Walking away from something that caused you to be unhappy is brave and powerful, and it is ultimately creating space for something much bigger to come your way. Not only will you ever be in this moment again, you will never be this version of yourself again. Everyone and everything is constantly evolving, so it doesn't make sense to stay the same. Change is what makes life fun and not boring. I'm a big believer in you will never lose what is meant for you.
Don't let it fool you.
If you take yourself out of your current state of predictability and safety, and you put yourself in a new situation, you'll learn, right? You'll incorporate new information. So that's a cognitive issue. But that isn't all that happens. What happens is that new genes turn on within you and code for the production of new proteins. And that happens neurologically. New parts of you turn on. And so the idea is that if you can move yourself out into the world and push yourself out against a maximum array of challenges, more and more of you turn on.
Decisions you make will affect people throughout your entire life. If we lived life worrying about how our life decisions affected others, we wouldn't be fulfilled. You have to follow what sets your soul on fire and ultimately remember that you aren't responsible for other people's feelings, nor did you cause them. Your decisions don't have to make sense to other people. As long as the decisions you make are informed and you don't go around with the intention of hurting others, you'll be fine. Anxiety comes from living in the future. Depression comes from living in the past. Being present with what makes you happy is so important. When you start to neglect what makes you happy, that is when those feelings can become overwhelming, and that is what happened to me. I woke up each day with the mindset of, okay, just get through today, and of course, it became exhausting and led me to spiral down a pretty dark hole. I began to realize that some of my unhappiness came from being so far away from the people I love most in the world. Being a student athlete in college is extremely rewarding and comes with sacrifices, which is what makes it so rewarding. However, it is only worth it when you truly love the sport. It was because I wasn't truly fulfilled that I missed these people more than usual.
I love you so much. Thank you. Eleanor.
And my routine restricted me from making any kind of plans to see anyone for months at a time. When you are struggling mentally, you want to be around people who understand you and love you most.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight.
Really?
Fever
Granddad.
in the morning, a fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, and you know I'm gonna treat.
I feel like my whole life I have made deep, emotional, meaningful connections with people who I get very close with, and the chasing of my goals would always lead me away from them. There are moments I've had with people that I wish would have lasted forever, but maybe that's why they are so memorable. They didn't last forever, but they stood out and continue to stand out. Life is full of fleeting moments, and ultimately they become memories.
Yeah, that's my love. She hides away like a cool.
I moved away from my high school friends and family to live at a boarding school that was the best for lacrosse in the country. I then moved away from those people and my family 2 years later to a whole different country to play the game I loved when I was 18 years old. So now, when I look back at the sacrifices I've made, it was all for the sport. To realize that I'm ready to leave it behind comes with some pretty big emotions. I can confidently say that I wouldn't change anything because I have met some amazing people on the way, learnt so much about myself and life, experienced things I used to only dream about, and continue to have opportunities come my way. Maybe now these opportunities just look a little different. Ultimately, to me, the meaning of life is human connection.
The latest at 6 a.m. I'm really
My ultimate goal in life is to connect with people far deeper than surface level and to build lasting relationships. Every goal I have ever chased has only really meant something when I have shared it with the people around me who love me. At the end of the day, if we have no one to share our lives with, what is the point? Being around the people I love makes me the happiest version of myself, so my goal moving forward is to find a balance with my career choices and my relationships. Because relationships don't just exist, they take work and effort too, but are perhaps the most rewarding achievement in life. The closing of this chapter in my life all started with feelings of nostalgia.
We're just reminiscing on old times. It's so nostalgic being back here. So nostalgic.
It's so weird.
It's
I had
very
to double
weird.
take.
I honestly have nearly cried and thrown up 20 times.
I will throw up.
It's
crazy.
Very, very strange to have spent so long in a place and to have made so many memories and met so many people, and to be back here when you're in such a different place.
So many good things. Why'd you leave?
After spending time with people in places that make me happy and coming back to school was very enlightening. It dawned on me that I have repeatedly formed connections with people in places that I love and then moved away to new things. At what point do I prioritize the people I love over my personal success? Moving from place to place and not being around a group of people for longer than a few months at a time has really shown me how temporary each moment in life is. All good things must come to an end, but the memories last forever. Of course, I know things will continue to go up and down because that's how life works. You have to learn to appreciate the good and the bad. Nothing lasts forever. Feelings are temporary. Use your heart to guide you. Do what sets your soul on fire and see the people you love as often as you can.
You need to live life to the fullest. You never know when it's going to be your last day. And you have to appreciate every second you have with the people you love.
Very true. So true.
If you don't like something in your life currently, change it. Don't spend the time worrying about the infinity of outcomes because that only causes anxiety, and you will only know once you have made that decision.
What would happen if you consulted yourself about the best possible outcome for you? You might get an answer.
When we were kids in the backyard, playing astronauts and rock stars, no one told us to stop it, called us unrealistic. Then suddenly you're 18, go to college for your plan B. What you want is too risky. Live for weekends and whiskey. We all got these big ideas. One day they're replaced with fears. How did we get here? Darling, don't quit your daydream. It's your life that you're making. It ain't big enough if it doesn't scare the hell out of you. If it makes you nervous, it's probably worth it. Why save it for sleep when you could be living your daydream?
I will leave you with this. We are only on this earth for less than a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of time, so make your life worthwhile to you. One day your life will flash before your eyes, so make sure it's worth watching. Time decides who you meet in life, your heart decides who you want in your life, and your behavior decides who stays in your life.
Oh, when you're